get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello and welcome everybody, or welcome back everybody, to another wonderful round brought to you by the Sausage Dodgers and of course coach Sim Racing Coaching. If you're in need of sim racing coaching, look no further than coach. For your sim racing needs for one-on-one coaching, it'll be led by Noah Osbadelston, who can help you out get the speed and consistency that you're looking for. Looking at the race info for the night, we're at WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway. Track length of 2.2 miles or 3.7 kilometers, founded in 1957. Current layout since the 88s. Location is in Salinas, California, located in the heart of the Monterey Peninsula. 11 corners, 6 to the left, 5 to the right, with 180 feet of elevation change, most of that happening at the corkscrew. 6-story drop down turn 10, turn 8, and turn 8A. Now, to look at the championship standings as well, it's Osbadelston in the lead in front of Tessitore by just 9 points. Then Nick Stubb in P3, Kyra Krasenberg in P4, Mark Richards in 5th, Jack McCarthy in 6th, Luca Monroe in 7th, Andrea Pizzetti in 8th, Leslie Simpkins in 9th, Simon Darsh in 10th, Oliver Smith in 11th, Craig Cameron in 12th, Christian Barker in 13th, Daniel Moffat in 14th, Tim Williams in 15th, Tommy Harala in 16th, Anthony Ward and Andrew Kesterton rounding out the 18 drivers. Getting ready for drivers to get their first laps in now. Mark Richards setting one. Let's take a look at Mark as they come across the line. Mark Richards into P2, 73 thousandths behind Daniel Moffat, who's in the lead of the field right now. Let's hop on board with Moffat and see what they're capable of doing. .214 kph coming into the corkscrew's braking zone of turn 8. The 6-story plummet down the hill before you get to Rainy Curve. then turn 10 and turn 11. This hairpin at the very end of the lap is very tricky for drivers to negotiate. Daniel Moffat gets bumped back by Leslie Simpkins and Luca Monroe there in the battle for P2 and P3. It'll be Kyra Krasenberg who actually finds P2 on that last lap. Daniel Moffat concluding their run, Jack McCarthy as well. Simon Darsh done with their run, Anthony Ward just beginning theirs. Alejandro Tessitore is still out there and could potentially find some time. The 04 hasn't set a lap yet, and we still have some time left in the qualifying session for him to be able to do so. This will be the run from Anthony Ward down to the line. What will it be for their first, though their second lap? Only good enough for 10th position at the end of qualifying. Tessitore, in the meanwhile, has found the pole position time. Has gone purple in front of Leslie Simpkins and Kyra Krasenberg in the 117. The 04 also setting purple sectors through 1 and 2, losing a little bit of time through the third sector as measured by iRacing now. And again, purple sectors in 4. Now the run to the line. Tessitore already has pole position, lock in stern. Does he need to solidify any more that he is in the lead? He does, with a 1:13.193, and he'll put a 0.3 gap between himself and Leslie Simpkins for the end of qualifying. Holy smokes, Tessitore is in a league of his own. 0.8 the gap between P1 and P4. Daniel Moffat, the gatekeeper, back in P5, leading Jack McCarthy, Mark Richards, Simon Hutchings, and Simon Darsh. Anthony Ward, Noah Osbaldeston starting from the back, as well as Tim Williams. Now, Tim Williams actually not starting at the back of the pack, trying to get out there and set a lap now. See what Tim Williams is potentially capable of as we go on board with the 797 driver. As we go up the hill in towards turn 5 and turn 6. And the plummet after turn 7 into turn 8 is just tricky as can be, but Tim Williams mounts the curbs and doesn't unsettle the car. Through the rainy curve, it'll be all right. He doesn't use all the track that he's bought and paid for. Maybe the cars have so much downforce that you don't really need to go out to the exit curbing at the end of rainy there. First lap in the books for Tim Williams now, officially starting their run down through turn 2 and turn 3. That's the Andretti hairpin. Here's turn 3, the fast right-hander, and again for turn 4, another flick, and they're flat out into this right-hander at turn 4, all the way down towards the kink, and then turn 5. Little lick of the stamp and ascend for good measure. Again, this is tricky. The entrance towards turn 6, the uphill banking the sausage curb that you need to avoid. A little bit of hesitation and lift there from Tim Williams at the apex as he slid through the corner. Now up the hill through turn 7, down the hill through turn 8. The car got a little unsettled, but he's still driving okay. Flat out through Rainy. Looks good now. Into turn 10 and the final one, turn 11. This hairpin right here. You don't want to touch that sausage and you don't want to touch the green painted lines on the outside line. It'll run you a little bit wide, but here comes Tim Williams. What does he have in store? Where does he fall on the charts? It's only good enough for 9th place, a 1:15.64. He's got to pick up the pace here and now, but unfortunately, the qualifying session will be concluded for Mr. Williams. Results will get posted here in just a few moments as the session gets concluded, folks. Stand by, don't go anywhere, but we have to give a big shout out and thanks to tonight's sponsor. It is actually going to be Tim Williams himself. Thank you very much, Tim Williams, for sponsoring tonight's event and allowing us to keep the lights on and the stream still broadcasting. Really appreciate the love and support from all of the Sausage Dodgers community, including our Meat Wall and Patreon subscribers, Andrew Kesserton, Simon Hutchings, Paul Cook. And in the tier 1 category, we have Leslie Simpkins, Andrew Kesserton, or Andrew Kenny, excuse me, Mark Richards, and Jack McCarthy. And the drivers are officially getting gridded up. Let's see if we can get the results posted here in just a few moments' time. Show the official results from qualifying now. Alejandro Tessitore leads Leslie Simpkins, Kyra Krasenberg, Luca Monroe, Daniel Moffat, Jack McCarthy, Mark Richards, Simon Hutchings, Tim Williams, Simon Darsh, Anthony Ward, and Noah Osbedelson will round out the 10, the 12. We're ready to go racing here tonight, folks. Let's go racing at Laguna Seca Speedway. Great start for Leslie Simpkins. Blocks off Kyra Krasenberg's attack. Also for Alejandro Tessitore, but Krasenberg tries to go deep and long around the outside line. Luca Monroe and Daniel Moffat going toe-to-toe, blow for blow, coming through the Andretti hairpin. And it'll be a Sausage Dodgers backfield right now as Noah Osbedelson gains 5 on the good and the start of this event. Tim Williams also trying to advance his way forward, now sitting behind a teammate of Mark Richards. It's going to be a battle of mistakes here at Laguna Seca. Who makes the least number of them? 40 minutes on the clock, folks. And there's our first casualty of the race. That will be Jack McCarthy in the number 24 going round. Up at the front, Tessitore leads Leslie Simpkins by half a second right now, and he's gaining by 0.6 on that previous lap. Kyra Krasenberg under attack from Luca Monroe further back, and Noah Osbedelson is trying to charge up the field, but has Daniel Moffat in tow. Super Motorsport, thank you very much for being here in the YouTube chat. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications, folks. It really helps us out here at the Sausage Dodgers. Coming up the hill for the second time now. And plummeting down the corkscrew here. You can see the tire marks coming through the corkscrew. in that gravel trap. An unfortunate circumstance there for Jack McCarthy, who went off. On board with Remo. Can we get a replay of the three-way crash? Absolutely, sir. But here's the battle between Monroe and Krasenberg. No, that's Osbadelson, excuse me. In the Nova Esports machine, trying to go the long way around the outside of Luca. And just not finding the daylight to exist at this opportunity. Luca covers off the inside line through turn 4. The run to turn 5 is going to be fully compromised. Here's Luca right now on the defense, but allows Noah through. Noah is absolutely on the charge right now, and he is up 8 positions on the good. Let's get that replay loaded, and let's take a look at what happened to Jack McCarthy here. So this is Osbadelson getting by McCarthy. And McCarthy comes up the hill. Everything's looking okay for him until it's not going to be fine. 24 gets bumped into the rear end, goes off by the 420. That should be Mark Richards, and that will spin him around. So Richards leaves the tire tracks there on track, not Jack McCarthy. So Mark Richards and Jack McCarthy are further back, 10th and 11th for them right now. Tim Williams also running in 12th. Anthony Ward getting passed by Mark Richards just on this previous lap. The gap to the leader has opened up to around 1.1 seconds. Leslie Simpkins falls back to Tessitore in the lead. Kyra Krasenberg getting chased down by a teammate of Noah Osbadelson in the Nova Esports team. Now, I'm assuming team orders will be executed here, and Kyra won't put up too much of a fight, and there it is. Not too much of a fight indeed, or as I say that, she snaps right back. Challenged just briefly, but now Osbadelson up 9 on the good. Anthony Ward and Jack McCarthy come side by side through turn 1, but Ward isn't putting up too much of a fight, allows Jack McCarthy to secure P10. Only 6 minutes into tonight's event, folks, and here's another off. This time it's Simon Hutchings. Let's get a replay of what happened to Hutchings here. Ooh, and just a little too fast coming through turn 6. Now, Simon Hutchings in 9th place is down 1, battling with a couple of other drivers that are on a bit of a recovery drive. Mark Richards in front, Jack McCarthy in behind. Kyra Krasenberg and Luca Monroe are close to each other on the racetrack, but the last laps around, we're definitely going Krasenberg's way. Now, Richards, Hutchings, McCarthy, all line astern. Tessitore still gaps Simpkins. Osbaldeston, though, closing the gap on Simpkins ahead slowly but surely. Let's go on board and see what the drivers are dealing with here. Here's the onboard of Simon Hutchings. A little look and a scare tactic given to Mark Richards in that number 420 out in front. But you got to wake up a little earlier in the morning to get one by on Mark Richards. A little bit slidey there for Simon Hutchings. And big mistakes for Hutchings now, and loses out a ton of ground to Richards ahead. Now Jack McCarthy got to be foaming at the mouth with this opportunity now. P10 is good and all, but there are better points to be had. Kyra Krassenberg, Luca Monroe come through turn 6. A little kiss of the kitty litter there from Luca Monroe and the YS Simsport team. I don't think he'll make a diving blow going into the corkscrew. It's a little bit dangerous to go side by side through there. We've seen some of the MotoGP greats do it before, Stoner versus Rossi, but we haven't seen them do it since 2009, unfortunately. But Moto America still returning to the track of Laguna Seca. Tim Williams, unfortunately, crashes. We'll get a replay of that in just a few moments' time. Again, this attack includes Luca Monroe and Kyra Krassenberg side by side in through turn 2, and they almost touch wheel to wheel, which obviously can send the cars airborne at any opportunity because we are driving open wheel Delaras. Richards going side by side with Simon Hutchings in the number 37, and Mark Richards still able to defend from Hutchings behind. The battles continue to brew everywhere we look. Here's the crash from Tim Williams. Oh, all on his own on the entrance to the corkscrew, and he just did it under the brakes. The Sausage Dodgers sandwich is sandwiching Simon Hutchings right now, and there goes a big squeeze from Mark Richards, forcing him off the track, and the 24 is going to go on the attack immediately to retort for the team and get that position done on Hutchings. Jack McCarthy now leads the trio on lap 10. Simon Hutchings back in 9th. Mark Richards in 10th. Tim Williams in 11th. Anthony Ward and Tim Williams going wheel to wheel, but it looks like Tim Williams is going to allow Ward through. Side by side in a high-speed section of the track, leads to dangerous potential overtakes between the duo. Now in through turn 6 side by side, and they touch, and they're going to go off at turn 6. Side by side continues between Krassenberg and Monroe now. And meatball flag out for Tim Williams, and it's just not his night. At the 27-minute mark, Simon Hutchings decides to come down pit lane. I think that one might be a little early, but the drivers do know best. Debris being drawn out onto the racetrack. The drivers having to deal with the slippery conditions into the braking zone of the corkscrew now. Monroe pushing this 1.6 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder Toyota that pushes around 275 horsepower, roughly 166 miles per hour down the front stretch, in through turn 1, down the hill into Andretti. And can he get a switchback engaged as Krassenberg locks up a little bit? Monroe kicks up a little bit of pocket sand, and it won't be enough for the man in blue. Red Fudge in the YouTube chat asked, did Tim get a meatball? He did get a meatball flag from that big incident with himself and Anthony Ward side by side through turn 5. Hopefully they don't go side by side through turn 6. We've seen that end in Tears for Fears before, and they don't. Single file line as Monroe gets by Krassenberg in the battle for 4th. Leslie Simpkins snatches away the fastest lap of the race, a 1:13.08 that last time around, will best Alejandro Tessitore and his 1:13.14. Because this is my home track, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Laguna Seca. In the early 1950s, sport car races were held on public roads near Pebble Beach. After a fatal crash in 1956, those road races were then shut down. With racers nowhere to go, it was Laguna Seca that was born. To preserve motorsports in the region, local leaders funded the construction of a permanent circuit on a land owned by the U.S. Army. Laguna Seca officially opened in 1957. The name means dry lake in Spanish, a nod to the natural basin that the track surrounds. After the late 50s and throughout the 60s and 70s, Laguna Seca became a staple for sports car racing, SCCA competition, Can-Am, and endurance events. The circuit gained international fame for its elevation changes, especially the now legendary corkscrew. By the 1980s, Laguna Seca was firmly established as one of America's premier road courses. Of course, as I mentioned previously, we have to talk about the motorcycle era and its global spotlight. Laguna Seca became globally famous thanks to its motorcycle racing. One of the most iconic moments in motorsports history happened here in 1988, a dramatic corkscrew battle between Eddie Lawson and Wayne Rainey that's still replayed today. The track later hosted Superbike World Championship, MotoGP from 2005 to 2013. I think I misspoke and said 2009. Motorcycles helped cement the corkscrew reputation worldwide. Throughout the years, the circuit has undergone several improvements such as track resurfacing, runoff area expansions, safety updates, and facility modernization. In 2018, WeatherTech became the title sponsor, and the venue was renamed WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Till today, it hosts IMSA sports cars, historic racing, club racing, and major automotive events. Despite it just being 2.2 miles long or 3.6 kilometers long, Laguna Seca remains one of the most technical tracks in North America because it's narrow, elevation heavy, has low margin for aero, and extremely punishing on rear tires. Osbaldeston has now caught up to Leslie Simpkins, who's trying to use traffic to his advantage right now. And we're going to go 3 wide through the kink on entry to turn 2. It's going to be a little hectic and scary. On the way to turn 4, Noah's going to touch a little bit of that dirt there. But he will get the move done nonetheless. Over to Krassenberg and Luca Monroe. Yet again, the YS Sim Sports driver leads Krassenberg in the battle for 4th and 5th. Mark Richards in the 420 decides to come down pit road to split this one down the middle. Both drivers pushing as hard as they possibly can. Oh, big block there from Luca Monroe on Krassenberg, who had the overspeed. Glowing brake discs from Krassenberg shows me that she's pushing hard out there. Off into the gravel as well through turn 3. Pushing a little too hard perchance. And losing out a little bit of speed because of it. Anthony Ward, Simon Hutchings close to each other on the track, and there goes Ward round at the corkscrew. And Monroe and Krassenberg there at the scene of the crime, able to escape without any harm. Last lap time, Krassenberg was 4/10 slower than Monroe out ahead. Let's talk a little bit about these Formula lights. I know we've talked about them a little bit before, but let's get into depth about what these cars are potentially made out of. These are the modern Dallara 324 Super Formula lights. The engine is a 1.6 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder Toyota based unit with 275 horsepower. The weight is only 584 kilograms or 1,287 pounds. This is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car with a sequential gearbox and a top speed at around 267, and there goes Krassenberg. Oh no, what a dangerous place to be for Krassenberg. Able to recover though. Jack McCarthy now chasing down Simon Darsh in the battle for 7th and 8th here. In the class of vehicles these would fall under, these are medium power open wheel clubman cars. And the car has noticeably more power and grip than older F3 type cars on iRacing, but is still a solid stepping stone before moving up to a full Super Formula machinery. Noah Osbaldeston steals away the new fast lap of the race that last time around, a 1:12.9 last time around. Now he's promptly behind Tessitore with just 16 minutes left to go. Can he close down a 2.6 second gap? So the Super Formula Lights in iRacing are a newer open-wheel single-seater class added to the sim in 2024 as part of the modern Super Formula ladder. It uses the virtual version of the Dallara 324, the lightweight, powerful junior Formula car, and sits between lower Formula cars like F4 and the Super Formula car in terms of performance. The virtual SFL car is modeled after the Real World Series that feeds drivers into high-level open-wheel racing in Japan and internationally. Osbaldeston inherits the lead of the race as Tessitore is in pit lane. Leslie Simpkins, Kyra Krassenberg also coming down the pits now. Tessitore with traffic out in front of him. Luca Monroe in the blue car will be the next driver for him to pass. If you're interested in Super Formula racing on iRacing, there typically runs a club or licensed series format of sprint races around 20 to 30 minutes, short qualifying sessions around 8 minutes, standing starts, and realistic weathers. There are both open setup and fixed setup series offered, and you typically need a Formula C license in iRacing to enter the Open Series Championship. Tessitore re-inherits the lead of the event now. And there is Osbaldeston coming down pit road. He'll be right behind Tessitore now. With a 1.1 second gap separating the duo. We're definitely in for a treat tonight, folks. Let's look at Mark Richards and Jack McCarthy's battle. We've seen it gone wrong before, but will it go right this time around for the Sausage Dodgers pair? Jack McCarthy under threat heavily from Mark Richards still in that 420. Continues to challenge forward. Mark Richards was the faster of the duo the last time round, bringing the gap down to where it is in front of us. Richards continues to be faster. Lap after lap goes to the outside line here at Andretti. Tries to get a switch back, but it looks like McCarthy is occupying the real estate needed here. McCarthy continues to defend. Coming through turn 4. The run down to 5 is going to leave him a little compromised. Mark Richards is there late on the brakes, kisses the apex, and is there in that 420 Sausage Dodgers machine. Now, Osbaldeston, only a second back from Tessitore. Ten minutes left to go on the clock, folks. Can Osbaldeston make it happen? But McCarthy and Richards aren't done settling this debate. Richards back into 7th position. McCarthy in 8th is down 2 from where he started this event. Osbaldeston continues to chip away at those lap times to get behind Tessitore. When you're within 1 second in these Super Formula lights, you start getting hit with dirty air as well as the slipstream. And I think the dirty air probably hurts a little bit more than the slipstream is helping, because there isn't necessarily a long straightaway here at Laguna Seca. .112.9 again from Osbaldeston. New fast lap set behind Alejandro Tessitore. Here is Osbaldeston and Tessitore's gap coming through turn 6. Osbaldeston clearly pushing as hard as he possibly can, knowing that the clock is about to strike midnight, and this race will turn into a pumpkin very quickly. Last laps around, this time by 113.28, 113.03. Remember, we've got to give shout out and thanks to our sponsor for the evening. That will be Mr. Tim Williams. Thank you very much for your sponsorship for this evening. And thank you very much to our title sponsor as well, O-Coach, for providing prizes for this championship. 3 hours of coaching for the first place driver, 2 hours of coaching for the second place driver, and 1 hour of coaching for the third place driver. Nothing separating the leaders with 6:30 remaining on the clock. Osbaldeston tries to go on the attack through turn 11, but it's just not enough momentum for him to carry the speed around the outside. Now through turn 1, he leads him to the outside line for turn 2 of Andretti. Now all the way around the outside, it looks like Tessitore had a bit of a moment getting on the loud pedal, allowing Osbaldeston to the inside line, but it's not enough at turn 3 and turn 4. He has to go back single file. Osbaldeston chases down Tessitore. 5 minutes remaining. And the leaders are putting in 1:13s right now. So we'll just get 4 more laps out of this. Osbaldeston wiggles and weaves trying to go to the inside line on Tessitore, but that wasn't going to work. Under braking, that was a very dangerous move, but it ended up working out well for Osbaldeston as he kept the 4 wheels beneath him. He's clearly trying to do something different than what he has been doing over and over again, and here it is, the attacking run, and it looks good for Ascend, and it was on like Donkey Kong. Osbaldeston in the lead of the event in front of the Italian of Tessitore. Oh no, who is that off? Is that Jack McCarthy? It is McCarthy. In 8th place, was battling with Mark Richards to the bitter end. Now it is unfortunately no longer. Osbaldeston in the Nova Motors Esports team number 5. In front of Tessitore. Leslie Simpkins in 3rd. Luca Monroe in 4th. Daniel Moffat in 5th. Kyra Krassenberg in 6th. Mark Richards in 7th. Jack McCarthy in 8th. Tim Williams in 9th. Simon Darsh in 10th. Simon Hutchings in 11th. Anthony Ward will round out the 12 participants here tonight for Formula SDR. Blue flags getting out of the way of the leaders there. I believe that was the 44 of Darsh. Now, Osbaldeston the last time around wasn't the faster of the duo. So maybe Tessitore was leaving a little bit in the tank for the last few minutes of the race. but he's got to stitch it together here and now. Osbedelston leads Tessitore with just a minute to go. It's still not quite over, and it's not clear if we'll get a bonus lap or not with 50 seconds remaining now. The 420 is there in front of the 5, and traffic giveth, lap traffic taketh away in the same breath. It looks like Richard stays out of the way of the leaders, lets them fall through, but tenths are given, tenths are taken here or there, that's for sure. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. We will get a bonus lap here tonight, and Barney the Flagman will start waving the flag high and proud as soon as the leaders cross the line. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you very much for your participation in these events. We wouldn't be here without all the love and support of the Sausage Dodgers community showing up and showing out for these events. If this tickles your fancy, check us out. The video has a link to the Discord in the description. So check out Sausage Dodgers Discord and get yourself registered for some of these championships. TCRs just being announced following up the Endurance Series, which should close out this Thursday. And drivers stop there on track to let the leaders by, and it will be Noah Osbedelston taking the win here tonight at my home track of Laguna Seca, Tessitore in P2. Leslie Simpkins will come home in third place in the number 33. Luca Monroe coming through the corkscrew will take fourth place with a hard-fought battle with Kyra Krasenberg, who's going to come home in sixth. Daniel Moffat in fifth, Mark Richards in seventh, Jack McCarthy in eighth, Tim Williams in ninth, Simon Darsh in 10th, Simon Hutchings in 11th, and Anthony Ward in 12th. Don't go anywhere, folks. Stand on by. We'll be right back, folks, as we get drivers' interviews ready. Just waiting now for Noah Osbaldeston to join me in the broadcast booth while we do our interview, and we'll hear from the O-Coach sponsor himself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell then. Really helps us out here at the Sausage Dodgers community.
Oh, it's that time of the week again.
Hello, Mr. Osbaldeston. How do you do?
There's still the crisp wrapper from last week on the floor here. I noticed that.
Quite wonderful. Sir, started at the back of the pack, finished in first this week. Talk to us about how you did it.
Well, I had a McDonald's in qualifying, so I couldn't qualify. But yeah, I just thought, well, the McDonald's is more important. So started from the back, had a really clean lap one, made up like 6 positions in lap one. Just set myself up really nicely again. Huge thanks to Nova Motors Esports for the setup again. It was the best setup in the field today, and it was all made by the team. So again, huge thanks to Nova Motors Esports. So yeah, like just super smooth race, one car at a time, and then got into a bit of a stalemate with Leslie and Alessandro. So I just started fuel saving. I was like, well, if I can't win, if 3.4 seconds is too much to gain on pace, I'll just do it on strategy. So save the fuel, had a lap extra than Alessandro. And then yeah, just that lot back, gained about 3 seconds of the pits, and that was enough to sort of get the win. So yeah, again, another race, one strategy, I reckon.
Nice job. Very well thought out and a plan well executed for sure. Now, Noah, talk to us about O-Coach and what you guys are trying to do here.
Basically, we're just trying to open up a bit of networking really to new drivers. You know, I've been working on developing a fair coaching business where I can help out drivers where, you know, you're getting the same help as some of the top coaching in the world for a quarter of the price, because a lot of these drivers and these teams are doing coaching for crazy amounts of money, sort of $60 to $100 an hour, and it's you know, for me that why? I mean, you know, you're there to help the community. That's what you do as someone who part of sim racing. You know, we're all supposed to help each other. So just yeah, developed a good business plan where I could offer coaching for under $30 an hour. And yeah, just again, we're learning every day, and every race I'm doing is hopefully showing some of the guys in the league, you know, that it really doesn't take much. Like all it just needs is a little bit of help, a little bit of assistance, a little bit of coaching and point development in the right direction. And it's sort of it's really not difficult. So like, you know, it's a lot of mentality focused training, pressure drills, working on, you know, peak performance state, and sort of your psychomotor skills with, you know, and just helping drivers get better by any means necessary and what suits them to make them better.
That is fantastic. Thank you for bringing coaching in sim racing community accessible to everybody. Noah, now is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank tonight before I let you go?
Yeah, just huge thanks to SDR for hosting the series. It's been a fantastic season so far. We've had some great races. It's really close because I've had some great results this season with Alessandro, and we've had some great ding dong battles. And then again, another huge thanks to Nova Motors Esports. They've been the reason I've been winning these races. They've made me an absolute banger of a setup once again. So again, huge thanks to them. I couldn't do this on a fixed setup. So, you know, we've been making setups for a while now, and you know, huge thanks to them, and everyone else's access. Everyone can access the Nova Motors Esports setups that we've been developing and building. So it's just there's basically a team application. So if anybody would like to sort of be a part of this team we're working on to help drivers or O-Coach or Nova, you know, give me a shout on Discord. And it's such an easy thing to do. And again, it links with Nova and O-Coach. You know, helping drivers is what I'm here to do.
Right on. Thank you very much, Noah. Appreciate you. Have a great night. And as always, stay safe, buddy.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
See you next week. That'll do it for us here with Noah Osbaldeston. Let's get the official results posted here for us, folks. Or let's call them the unofficial results, technically. Provisionally, Noah Osbaldeston won in front of Alejandro Tessitore in second. Leslie Simpkins, Luca Monroe, Daniel Moffat, Kyra Krassenberg, Jack McCarthy, Mark Richards, Tim Williams, Simon Dart, Simon Hutchings, and then Anthony Ward in 12th. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to be your host. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag, but all good things have to come to an end, unfortunately, and so must this. Have a great night, and as always, remember to stay safe out there. Bye-bye, and thank you to our sponsors.